to Start Discipleship Day 31. So glad you're here. And I'm going to just tell you that today is dramatic, all right? It is incredible, an incredible reading, some incredible, amazing miracles that the Lord does with just absolutely incredible things that he does in reference to his people while they are in Egypt, all right? So God begins working through Moses to do incredible miracles and send plagues on the land of Egypt. Now, this is something you wouldn't necessarily notice as you're reading through the story. It's pretty amazing and incredible, but one of the things you might not notice as you read through it is that God is systematically destroying some gods of Egypt in the eyes of his people. Let me see if I can explain. So, as the plagues start coming on the land of Egypt, the plague of blood that comes on the Nile River, the river Nile, the Egyptians taught that was God, that was one of their gods. And God demonstrates that he has power over that. And he crushes that God in the sight of his people, right? So the Israelites see, and they're like, because it's really easy, if you're a slave in the land of Egypt for 400 years, it's really easy to start believing that the God that you heard about your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa Abraham and Isaac and Jacob must not be quite as powerful as the gods of Egypt, right? Like that would be the temptation to feel like all these other gods must be more powerful than the one I serve. And God says, not okay. The Bible says he's a jealous God. He will not share his glory with another. And so God allowed their slavery for a period of time, and he multiplied them greatly. And then he's going to bring them out and send them into a land that he's promised them. But first he's going to have to prove that he's not at all like the other gods of the world, the gods of the Egyptians. He's going to destroy one by one all the gods of Egypt. So they had a god that was like a frog. And he sent a plague of frogs that they could not stop, and it was annoying and incredible. And then God killed them all, right, in one day. And then a plague of gnats. They had and flies. There was like gods that were like these insects in the Egyptian thing, and the Egyptian pantheon, their system of gods. And so, plague of boils and a plague of hail and a plague of locusts. God is just kind of systematically. Sorry, somebody is messaging me. There we go. God is systematically destroying these gods, and it's an incredible, incredible thing for the Israelites to watch. They are watching God take all of the gods that they thought had kept them in captivity for so long and destroy them systematically, one by one by one. And it's like, oh, that God doesn't have power like our God has power. Oh, that God doesn't have power like our God. Oh, that one either. That one God doesn't have power like our God. So God glorifies himself through all of this. And I want you to understand that God was not saving these people because of their goodness. He was saving these people for the sake of his own name, his own glory. He said, I am going to be glorified by the allowing Pharaoh to strengthen his heart and resist my will. So normally nobody would be able to withstand the will of the Lord like this, right? Like this systematic destroying of all their gods. But Pharaoh could. He wanted to pretend the Lord didn't exist, and he did. And God allowed him to do that. And then God brings in the Passover and brings them out, brings the Passover in the last part of the story in chapter 12 and chapter 13, the last plagues. The last one, even Pharaoh's eldest son and the heir to the throne died. And Pharaoh himself taught that believed and taught the people that he was one of the gods of Egypt. And so God is just systematically showing them that there is no God besides me. So when they go out, he wants them to have faith. He wants them to trust him. He wants them to see that there's no other God who can do what he can do, which is an incredible, incredible, and beautiful, beautiful thing. Listen, there's no other God like the Lord. Maybe somebody else somewhere who's serving the God of money has it better than you right now, but their God's going to fall. It's just a matter of time. Maybe somebody else is serving the God of sexuality or the God of something else, And you may be tempted to think that their God satisfies and their God gives joy and their God, but it's only for right now. Your God gives greater joy. Your God satisfies more and better than any other. So keep that in mind as you read this, and just be amazed at how God showed himself strong for the sake of his people. God bless you. See you tomorrow.